Okay, so my live stream worked and I wasn't ready for it, but let me give the opportunity to get the word out. And in the meantime, everybody should get questions prepared to ask. This is a super duper impromptu live stream. Okay, and so I attempt to multitask and do several things at one time. I ask for an apology, or I must apologize because I didn't think this would happen. Okay, so Mr. I've had a few things occur. We had an interesting trip to Davos. Okay, and you could see the YouTube video. I got into it with Anura Rubini, who, of course, said that he's bearish on all crypto, and I feel that he wasn't being very empirical. And so I pasted, I gave up, I think, a cogent legal argument, empirical argument, oral argument. I also pasted a decent amount of fact on top of a video that one of the audience members forwarded to me. Okay? And right now I am killing time, so please pardon. I guess this is good enough. Everybody online, please hit the share and the like buttons. Let's get everybody going. And I see the questions are pouring in. Let me just share this on social media. Okay? And then I'll get to answering questions. I think I have somewhere around 20 minutes. Okay? And we should be good to go. You know what? Okay. Next time I'll be more prepared. I thought this device didn't work because it didn't work the last time. Okay. Good morning from the fringe of Sacramento. Well, good morning, sir. Is it true you are a part-time? Okay, I see we have clowns on. It's been a while. Okay, Chris Patton Walker, hello from the UK. Hello, sir. How close are you to tokenizing the medical field? We're not close. We had a clinic we were going to tokenize that didn't pan out, and other things are cropping up in the meantime. If the opportunity comes up with an actual strong prospect, we will definitely do that. Deep healing, we love you. Thank you. I love you too. Do you still have that? Let's see. Good to see you. Thanks for tweeting that video I made on getting yield on gold. You're very welcome, by the way. The guy that made the yield did a very good job because it was done in plain, simple English, and a lot of people found it helpful. Part of my screen is blocked. Okay. That's probably because I had my hand in. I have to scroll through the questions, so pardon me. Appreciate the hard work you put in for Very. Thank you. And crypto market is a steep uphill battle from here. In terms of the crypto market, okay, in terms of the crypto market, I'm not going to opine on actual markets because we're looking at building a platform, an entire new, not even a market or industry, but an entire new form of capital market. And I am getting a lot of calls, of course, as soon as I decide to start a live AMA. But the reason why we created VE Gold was to create a stable store of value, okay, that is not highly correlated to crypto markets, so to say, and that it's not extremely volatile. So we created a stable store of value. There's actually more stable than the reserve currency, the US dollar, as well as many or all other fiats. Okay, upon that, we are building several machinations, lending contracts, private equity contracts, etc. I just had a very prominent lawyer in here, and I was explaining the business to him. Excuse me. And basically, our business is like the old lumber forms that were sold in many big cities and stationaries in New York. And they were basically prefabricated contracts, leaseholds, contracts for sale, etc. And they had blank spots in them that after they sold, the pieces of papers that were sold to customers, the customers would fill them out, sign them, execute them, and send them off to another party. Well, Veritaseum basically does the same thing, real like Bloomberg forms, just using modern technology, smart contracts in the blockchain, Solidity, etc. And we offer these contracts for people to fill out, finish, and execute, and enter into deals. Now the Bloomberg form, which initially was just a piece of paper, an incomplete contract, now can, with the help of blockchain technology, take the place of entire industries: banking, finance, asset management, merchant banking, trade finance, legal, off to healthcare, etc. So that's what Veritaseum is in a nutshell. It's a software vendor mixed with an advisory firm that creates and sells advanced Bloomberg contracts. Any good news about Jamaica? No, I've let Jamaica go. One day I will probably be able to tell you what happened in Jamaica, but I'm not at liberty to do it now. But Jamaica is past tense. The good news is we've signed a joint venture agreement with an exchange that is more than 20 times the size of Jamaica. Let's do the math, right? Is that right? Yeah, more than 20 times the size of Jamaica. And the contract is signed. It is not an MOU. It is an actual joint venture contract with exchange that is one of the largest on the actual continent that resides in. And when I say that, we're not talking little tiny continents either. We're going to start issuing products out of there, hopefully soon as week after next. Okay, and the product gamut is wide and very, very exciting. It took many months to get this deal done, but it is done. And the product's going to be very, very unique. Then don't exist outside of the purview of the U.S. I'm sorry, outside of the purview of Veritaseum, to my knowledge. Do I have a timeline for VE-Rent to be online? VE-Rent will probably go online in February, but not in the U.S., unfortunately. Apart from Rubini, how was your trip to Davos? It could have been more productive. I didn't get there till Wednesday. My security wasn't in order, the hotels, etc. That had nothing to do with Davos. I think a lot of the meetings I need to attend at a higher level. One way to assure that is to do more lobbying or to hold our own event, which we're strongly considering. If we do hold our own event, it will be a very, very strong event. Basically, how to make money, not a bunch of pundits sitting on the stage, basically tooting their horn and talking trash, but we will go through exercises of how to actually make money or create value or build out strategy or solve problems. And I want everybody intending to leave either having made money, found out how to make money, or find out how to solve a problem or create value. Okay, this is it in a nutshell, all utilizing our products and services. Is your staff full, or do you still need sales staff? I do need sales staff and ambassadors. That's a fact. Who are the biggest movers and shakers in the crypto space at the moment? I think that's subjective. I couldn't tell you. Is Very going to stay in ERC20? Most likely, unless there's a compelling reason to change. When am I going to do an interview with Bixby on YouTube or Jay Snip? I don't know. What is your opinion about the passed bill in the Senate in Wyoming for legalizing tokenized stock certificates? I'm very happy about it, actually. That is a legislature that is progressive and is willing to take advantage of not only the technology, but the opportunity and the entrepreneurs resident in their state. Very proud of Wyoming. If I'm not mistaken, Delaware currently has similar legislation already written and approved. Will there ever be an ability to sell VE Gold back for F? Yes, there's an ability right now. Just go into the app and do it. Okay? Go into the app, go to VE Gold, go to the actual token of series that you have purchased and that you own, and click the sell button. Okay? And you have the ability to sell back for F right now. It's a very quick process. It should be under a minute. And next week you'll be able to sell back, okay, sell back for US dollars right now. Next week you may be able to sell back for US dollars within the actual interface itself. We'll see if it's done by the end of this week and next week. Programmers and engineers are working very hard. In that update, you will also be able to send and receive VE Gold directly within the VE Gold interface. We're creating a wallet interface, and you'll be able to sell by clicking sell or receive by clicking receive. It gives you the option of using a textual public address or popping up a QR code that could be scanned with any other phone, which means you'll now have the ability to send value very easily through cell phones, very much like they do in China with Weibo and WeChat. Very powerful attributes and capabilities of the software. We have 126 people online. I want everybody to hit the like button, please. I want everybody to hit that share button, please. Do that now for me. And if you're not a subscriber, everybody hit subscribe with the notification indicator on so you'll know when I come online. What is the best thing I learned in Davos? One thing I learned in Davos, believe it or not, I was able to sit down with a representative of the exchange, a very high level representative of the exchange I was discussing, and we sat down for a 2.5 hour dinner, and we hammered out new products to be offered, or at least a framework for new products, and the engineers and developers and the analysts are all sitting together to execute them. These products are mind-boggling. You know, they will help a large amount of people at a very high level and a very granular level at the same time. You know, it will increase availability for housing, increase housing affordability, increase capital formation. Very cool. Second to that will probably be the exchange with Rubini. I was shocked at the rudimentary perspective he took, and it reminded me and brought me back down to earth and thinking that and not everybody is as advertised. The gray in the beard is dignified. Well, thank you. It shows age. But I'm happy to get old. I plan to be getting older for the next 70 some odd years. So you guys are going to have to get used to me. Bankers seem to compete where small contracts are concerned. Not sure what edge Veritaseum has. Or Bankera. I'm not familiar with Bankera, but there are a lot of competitors. Veritaseum has a lot of edges, from intellectual property to the actual business models and products. I don't know of anybody who has a product suite that we have. So I don't think we have any direct competitors in our product suites just yet. All we really have are people who attempt to buy and sell gold, create investment portfolios, and or write smart contracts. We do all three combined. So at that point, the sum is truly greater than the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Am I going to the Bitcoin in Guinness Book World Records crypto meetup in Texas on April 6th? I didn't plan on it. I'm not familiar with the Theta project. Nathan E says, here's this thing about the state of crypto. We still have no proper use case with no adaptability. It's all concepts. Well, that's not true, Nathan. The VE Gold is sold in between 2 and 3 dozen, at least 2 dozen countries. I think what no less than 15 countries. You sold, you know, I don't know how much, I didn't keep track, but we're still in beta. Hundreds of thousands to $500,000 worth of product, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of product. And when we're able to come out of beta, which hopefully would be by the end of February, we're going to go on. We'll also use that and the products capable of that in our joint venture with this exchange. This exchange is a multi-billion-dollar exchange. It's not a crypto exchange. It's an actual securities exchange in a very large country. Okay, so that no adoption thing is just not true. Okay, the no use case issue is just not true, not at all. And we're not even talking about all of crypto. We're talking about just Veritaseum alone. Okay, another use case that's very true is that with populace and factoring. So I can't agree with that. I think that's just a repeating of the talking points of the media. And the media, many aspects of the media, simply don't have their facts correct. Like the guys who keep repeating Rubini in his shitcoin comments. Some of the stuff is very useful, is gaining traction. It's also very, very early stage, and considering how early stage it is, it's doing very well. The ego was conceived in what, July? It was created in a usable faction somewhere around the end of the year, what, November, December, and it's been rolling. So it's moving a lot faster than the internet ever did, and look how big the internet is. Will I be speaking in Hawaii at all? Not that I know of. Hashgraph fueling future versus blockchain. Can't comment on that. Still too early, and I'm not an expert on Hashgraph. What do I think of the implications of crypto, self-driving cars, cheaper solar, etc., all converging? It's all technology, and it all merges once each and every component, or if any component becomes mainstream. Let's fast forward or rewind a few years and saying what's the implications of cheaper electricity, the light bulb, and the internet. You don't think in terms of that. These are simply staple technologies that are now a common part of life. I don't know pundits, and if you ask me about individual companies, either I don't know much about them, I haven't researched them, or if I did, then it's top secret. So, you know, asking me about individual companies not productive at this point. I focus primarily on Veritasium, and it has many aspects and takes a lot of work. Can we expect further VE assets in the coming weeks? I don't know about the coming weeks, but you definitely expect further VE assets. We're actually tokenizing a pharmacy that is profitable and in business for several years as a proof of concept of the VE assets and the Vader machine. Battery metal baskets such as one on the CME. I'm not familiar with that. Is there anywhere we could buy Very besides the exchanges right now? Outside of the U.S., I will have Very available relatively soon. As you know, the U.S. has a very opaque and ambiguous regulatory regime that could also be very punitive as well. It's not worth doing business in that fashion in the U.S. at this time. Maybe when things clear up, yes, I'm pretty sure it will sometime, but until that happens, residents in the U.S. are going to have a crippled and sparse product offering, but you will have something. We created VE Gold and the VE Assets portfolio, particularly and specifically for U.S. residents. I'm glad you told Rubini some real facts from Castro. Actually, I'm glad I am too. I feel he does a lot of damage with his unfounded bearishness. I don't mind crypto being considered bad, negative, a failure, etc., as long as we keep the conversation factual. Of Of course, if we keep the conversation factual, you can never come to those conclusions. Reggie, are you going to attend the Bitcoin Bend meetup in Texas? Not familiar with it. While continuing to promote Rubini, Trump got elected using the same tactic of saying egregious things to perpetuate 24-hour news cycle. I do understand that point of view, but believe me, the video going around is not promotional of Rubini, and if I was him, I'd be outright embarrassed, to be truthful, with the overlaying of facts on top of the rhetoric. If someone would have did that with Trump and promoted that, Trump probably wouldn't be president. So just take a look at it from a factual perspective. This is not opining on politics or policy or whether Trump or Rubini are good and bad. I'm opining on the power of facts. Okay? Facts, logic, and I guess what people consider empirical truth. What do you think about populists? We have a report on populists and on PayPal, and we have, at least 18 other reports available on the Veda research section. We've added lately, I think, 17 reports, new reports, I think, definitely no less than 12 new reports. So if you go to dap.veritaseum.com or veritaseum.com and then go to the research section right under the research link, which is right under the video, and go into the Veda, and then click the menu on the upper left-hand side and go into research. You'll see a lot of research: macro, geographic specific, Africa, gold, commodities, many incident reports. There's a lot of stuff there. The best research available on the web, not just the best digital asset research, but the best research, period. What do you think about unfolding decentralized Oracle solutions being developed currently, Reggie? Projects like Chainlink, do you see that as a potential spark for use case? Yes, I do. If they are functional and they work correctly, I think oracles are not only very useful, but mandatory for bringing physical legacy assets onto the blockchain. Are you worried about Ethereum from John Knight? No, I am not. Anything going on between Jamaica Exchange and Veritaseum? No, Jamaica is out of the picture with us. But as I said, we have a joint venture agreement signed with many products on tap coming up very quickly with an exchange that's roughly 20 times, 20, 30 times, 25 times the size of Jamaica. I'm just rounding math off. I can guarantee you, I won't guarantee, that's dangerous, but I'm quite confident that this much, much larger exchange will produce products that are usable considerably before Jamaica does to the public. And let's see if I can stick to that. I'm pretty sure I can. Is there a foreseeable future for America to partake in Veritaseum? Depends on what you mean by partake in Veritaseum. If you mean by using our products and services, yes, you can do that right now. Right now, you can access the research without going through KYC, without paying. A few of the reports are for sale, and you pay those using Veri. You can also go in and participate after KYC AML and OFAC review with the VE assets, where you could purchase tokenized palladium, tokenized silver, tokenized gold, in various sizes and weights, from grams all the way to ounces and kilograms. The other stuff is a matter of the U.S. clearing up the regulatory regime. What happens to Veri if Ethereum collapses or fails as a project? Well, then Veri moves on to a blockchain that hasn't failed or collapsed or failed as a project. Keep in mind, Ethereum has a significant head start, so the chances of Ethereum collapsing or failing in the near to medium term is much lower than the chances of other projects doing so that have full Turing smart contracting ability. What is your ultimate goal for Veritaseum? To create global peer-to-peer capital markets without borders. So very token holders be directly financially cut in on these new exciting deals. How is the very family being represented? It's hard to understand that question. Directly cut in financially. Very token holders are holders of our prepaid fees and assets. Veritasium, I'm sorry, Very, it's not a security. So there's nothing to cut in financially. Okay, there are no stakes in the companies, etc. I've said this ad nauseum. Let me say it again. Very tokens are not securities. It does not give you rights to participate in Veritasium cash flows, voting, management, or anything else. Okay? There are prepaid fees for products and services. So if you're a skilled practitioner or a practitioner who's willing to learn how to use our products, I am confident that there is significant value to be gained from there as you learn to use the products and services via Very. Very gives you access to these. Are you still in the process of getting a broker-dealer license? Yes, we are, very much so, filing with FINRA. Hopefully, the last part of the filing goes in this week, hopefully, and there will still be some back and forth. We are also in the very advanced stages of hopefully getting a DABA license, Digital Asset Business Act license from the country of Bermuda as well. And we're also active in Africa. Sorry about that. Uganda, Nigeria, Ethiopia, and soon, hopefully, Kenya and South Africa and Uganda. And there may even be some entities, the other entities formed. There may be action in other areas such as the South Pacific and Asia. Asia looks to be a definite. We didn't get clearance from legal. Can Veritaseum change from the Ethereum blockchain to, let's say, Digibyte? I haven't looked into Digibyte, but anything that is compatible with, backwards compatible with Solidity should be able to take the Veritasium applications on board. Europe is open, and Dex, Stella, KuCoin, can you explore Very on these platforms? I can, but it wouldn't be a prudent business move. It's very resource intensive, just exploring other blockchains. So for right now, Ethereum is serving our purposes just fine. I was talking with Joseph Lubin, who is one of the founders of Ethereum and the owner of Consensus. And he shared the roadmap with me, both publicly and privately. And so far, so far so good. Okay, if for whatever reason there's a reason for us, for any reason, there's cause for us to leave Ethereum, we will. But that would have to be a business case, and we have to have superior risk reward potential for us to make such a move. KB says you can buy Very on HitBTC and transfer it to a private wallet. I don't know if that's true or not, but there are other places Very could be purchased, decentralized exchanges, Mercatox, etc. And I would presume it could be purchased from the areas in Africa where it go for sale as well. If you're a U.S. citizen, remember you live in a country that is hostile to businesses such as this, so I am not going to give you any advice, legal or otherwise. Just tell you to be careful. What's your take on uranium market currently? Listen to Mike Allen. I don't follow uranium closely, so I cannot opine on uranium. Any resistance against Very? I don't understand that question. When is Very going to be on Binance? That's up to Binance. So I can't answer that question. Okay, please don't ask me to opine on price issues. The value of Very is contingent upon the completion and acceptance of our products, but that value is economic use value, not investment value, and not price. So let's eliminate all conversation in regards to price speculation and investment. Once it comes to our token, at least, our products are a different story. Okay. Okay. When do you feel see a bull rally in crypto space? I don't know, but please be aware, I don't look at the business that way. I think too many people are focusing on token prices shooting up. And I understand that's what you see in the media. I understand, uh, that's a very easy way of seeing value, but, the value is in capturing ownership of this platform, this paradigm in the very beginning. And it's not in speculating on price. Think about the difference in the internet boom. We're speculating on price of IP packets, if you could buy them, which are very similar to some tokens. So you can try and get IP packets low and have them go up in price and speculate on when you think this IP packet will spike and moon and when this one won't, and you could go long and short. Or, you could become involved and start owning infrastructure, such as protocols, the internet protocol, IP protocol, the MX protocol, the platforms from which Amazon has been built, and Google, etc. You know, so you can own part of the industry, or you could sit there and try and play a short-term trader. You know, this is very, very big difference. If you own the platform, the infrastructure from which the internet was built, and you use it to build your own company or your own infrastructure, you would be very well off. And I don't mean financially, I mean in terms of capability and resources. Okay, so let's move away, at least from a Veritaseum and very perspective, let's move away from price speculation and investment and move into the greater realm, the real opportunity, and that is to own and be involved and influence a piece of the infrastructure, which will most likely be the medium for value transfer and value storage globally for the upcoming future. Very tokens, VE Gold, Veda. Can we use it anywhere else? The new exchange. The new exchange will be potentially in Bermuda and Africa. And whether you can use it or not depends on your particular jurisdiction and where you are. Okay? As I explained, out of the major jurisdictions and areas, the U.S. seems to have to be the most opaque, which is why you have so much intellectual capital and expertise flowing out of the U.S., save the legacy institutions. I don't know if hopefully that's not going to be the case going forward. We are definitely planting our feet in the U.S. with our application to be fully FINRA approved BD, but we're not there yet. Okay. VE Gold is available, and VE assets, at least metallic assets, VE Gold, VE Palladium, and VE Silver are available to use freely throughout the U.S. and throughout the world, save I think Bermuda and certain areas in the EU where you can't take physical delivery because of that, or it's expensive to take physical delivery. You're stuck with a digital version, which still serves your many purposes quite well. And we can't do business in OFAC nations where you have sanctions. Does Peter Schiff like my project? From Robert Lendingham? I have absolutely no idea. Okay? I don't know Peter Schiff like that. So you can ask him. Okay, Raising says the Veritaseum report on PayPal report. The Veritaseum report on PayPal is awesome. Thank you very much. I think it's very well done. Has Jeffrey T made any significant accomplishments being brought on as co-CEO? Well, we shall see. What he's been tasked to do is not easy, and it takes time. Okay, there's a learning curve and a tail, and an adoption period. And remember, this is a brand new product built on a brand new system that we created on a brand new platform, a brand new industry, okay, with brand new business models. So this stuff doesn't happen overnight. You know, we've been working on Veritaseum since 2013, and it's now 2019. Okay, and you're just starting to see some of the fruit coming on board right now. Lightning Network. This is from Rad Riddy. Instant settle blockchain transactions. Any benefit to integrating Veri? More real-time trading? Well, Veri is not a trading platform, so it doesn't really matter whether we can do real-time trading or not. I want everybody to understand that Veritaseum is a peer-to-peer capital markets platform. So trading is not us. Okay? And that is also the reason why we don't focus on things such as nanosecond transaction times. It's, you know, true investors or true seekers of value really don't care much about nanosecond response times and things such as that. What they do care about is capturing value. From my perspective, it's my opinion. Now I'm being asked about prices of tokens, and I asked you not to discuss that. That's not us. That's not what these AMAs are about. You can speculate on prices on your own. You don't need my assistance with that. Any word on pending patents? Not as I haven't heard back from council, so I have not. We've got a bunch of trademarks approved. We will follow up on the patent applications, though. It's been a while. Will I offer Veri for sale on my site? No need for exchange. And a Veridex, quite possibly, but again, only where it is A, legal, and B, unambiguous as to what the regulations are. Reginald Woody, I like your name. You're doing a great job, Reggie. You're solving a major problem of running peer-to-peer transactions via capital markets. Ultimately, Veri will replace the exchanges that won't list it. It's quite the possibility. Wait till you see our next update, which should be out within 2 weeks. I think it will show a lot of clarity as to our business model and business capabilities and what we're aiming for. How many Veri do you need to hold to access the platform? It depends on what part of the platform you're looking to access and what you're trying to do. But one Veri should be more than enough to start or to begin. KB wants to know if there are any altcoins that interest you or could benefit Veri in any way. I don't follow altcoins right now, but if you're looking for opinions on altcoins, I now have 7 full-time analysts, CFAs, CPAs, and forensic accountants, and they put out a prodigious amount of research. So go to dap.veritasium.com, click the menu in the upper left-hand corner, go to research, and read to your heart's content. Razor wishes me success. Thank you very much, my friend. Greatly appreciate it. If you leave F, it's my very worthless. No, it's not. Okay. F, I'm assuming you mean Ethereum. It's simply the blockchain that we're using. It's a database that we use for our transactions, the distributed database. So if we leave that, you simply go into another database, and the value, the very tokens will follow. They most likely, depending on the blockchain, will not trade on the Ethereum blockchain, but we will facilitate the transfer. Okay? We're not going to leave you out like that, so you can trust us. When will the renting system be live? We'll probably have it go live, opening up the Africa outlets. They're up and running now in at least 3 countries, right? And we'll put the Vader up in them, and they're accessible now, but we have a gate up. So once the ML KYC is perfected, which I think is already done, you'll be able to access it from the African nations. Okay, I believe the technical portions are already done. A lot of the legal stuff is done, so it's just a matter of us getting around to lifting that gate up. Okay, when we lift that gate up, you'll be able to rent, use the renting facility, and the data in its totality, and the assets and research. Any new employees, partners joining the Very team? Yeah, I took on two new admin, one admin guy, one developer, and we took on 4 new analysts. I think you are the main holder of Very. Okay. AI connection with Very, computing advances, exponential function. How is that affecting Very? It's not affecting Very at all. There's no connection there. If we have a need for AI that pans out from a business perspective, we will use it though. When will the actual research be published? It's published now. Take a look at it. Go into that later. One Belt, One Road initiative. Has China and Russia sought your input for their business transactions in future since the U.S. is not involved? No, they have not. And Harry says, thanks for your answer, Reggie. Can we expect Very tokens to be required to access these new products with new partner? Yes, Very tokens are the prepaid fees for our products and services. So in order to access them, you need to use the Very tokens, okay? They will be available if we launch a product and a service in an area where the Very sales are legal and you need them, we will make them available to you, okay? Remember, we are a for-profit business, and we can't create profit if we don't allow our potential customers to use our products. So we're there for you. These exchanges do not have your tokens when we try to withdraw to our wallets. I can't opine on exchanges. I don't run an exchange. They're separate companies, apart from me. We will have facilities to assist users in using our products and accessing using Very and Very assets such as VE Gold, VE Silver, etc., independent of exchanges if need be. So, we got you there. Simply hold on, okay? We may be launching one of them very soon, and the other one will be soon following. Do you think cryptos are congealing into a single entity, a dynamic universal currency where, no, I do not. Give me 1 second. My daughter has walked in. Can you please start your homework? Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, I am a dad, full-time. That's my first and foremost job, so pardon me. Care to comment on Luke Bryan's VE Lin video from the other way? It was from the other day. It was a great one. I did comment on it. It was a very good video. I appreciate it. It goes to show how strong our Very community is. He was able to explain the product and the economics behind it in a very easy to understand fashion. So good job, Luke. Good job, Luke. Let's see. Hey, Reggie. This is loving the AMAs. Will Team Veritaseum be posting quarterly financial statements? Do you consider VE token holders as traditional shareholders? If not, why? I've answered this question many times. It's a matter of fact. All you had to do when you if you purchase the tokens from us, it was mandatory that you read documents that explain what the tokens were. Veritaseum's product purchase agreement in terms and conditions. VE tokens are prepaid fees for our products and services. I actually just explained this earlier on in the video, but I'll go through it again. Very tokens are not securities, not equities. They don't give you a stake in the company's operations from an equity perspective. Okay? And there's no reason to equate it to traditional shareholders. You're better off equating VE tokens to licensing fees paid to Microsoft or to Salesforce, etc. Okay, that's a much better s- um, student comparison. If you didn't purchase Very tokens for us, they're not going to understand that. But those who purchased it from us had to agree to those documents. And if you take a look at our use of the Very tokens, they match that description 100%. Okay? They are used solely to redeem to us for products and services and to access our systems. Okay? So you asked if not, why? Now, hopefully, I'll explain that in sufficient detail. As for financial statements, we're a private company. There's no reason for us or no requirement for us to publish quarterly financial statements. But, I was actually considering it, and I still may. We're not at the point where it would make sense to publish such statements, but I will consider it. But I don't want that consideration to be considered some type of waiver for our private company status or, some admission at our prepaid fees or some type of equities or securities. I'm just doing it for transparency because I'm proud of what we're doing. All code closed source, you hold all the tokens. You have no customers. No, that's not true at all. Okay? A lot of stuff is built on open source code. Our proprietary code is closed, which should be expected because that's how we run our company. Okay? All of our competitors have all their proprietary stuff closed as well. You don't walk up to Goldman Sachs' GitHub account and see everything, or Citibank's, or JP Morgan's, or Morgan Stanley's. Okay, so, that statement makes no sense, but I addressed it because I don't want anybody to believe that there's some type of credibility behind it. We don't hold all the tokens. We hold about 97 point, I think, 8 or 9% of it, and that's because when we sold the tokens, we put 51% up for sale, and nobody bought any besides roughly 2% of it. Okay, so we took the tokens back into inventory, and then we would give them out as needed to promote our business, to sustain and grow our business. You have to be very, very careful about false statements, misdirection, etc., which is why I took the time out to address Nura Rubini, both in person in Davos and in that video. Um, it's a dangerous game you guys are playing, and promoting misdirection, ignorance, falsehoods, outside of being destructive, it's not nice. Okay? Have I asked for Verity to list on the upcoming populist decks? Don't know anything about upcoming populist decks, so I cannot comment on that. Plans for Brazil? Yes, we were just opining and strategizing on how to get into South America with our VE assets product. It is perfect for weak currency nations, sovereigns, and sovereigns who go through high and hyperinflation. Plans in the EU? Possibly, but we're still focusing on large countries in Asia and Africa with high growth areas. Africa will be the highest growth continent in the upcoming 10 years, according to our research, and US. Through Bermuda, we will reach into the EU if and when the Bermuda license is granted. Is there a way to build a business through the very platform? Absolutely is, very much so. If so, could you give some examples? I'd reach out to us via email, and we should be able to go through it. But you can rent Very tokens if you actively rent them. It's not a passive thing. You have to put the work in and do it. You can use the Very tokens to create a platform, such as private equity, tokenization of assets, and these assets can range from many, many things. You bring enough Very, and we'll help you customize an infrastructure based upon the Veritaseum platform. Gold lending, use it for mortgages as a peer in the peer-to-peer platform. I think those are 3 or 4 examples right there. Nathan E. says, I think some of the confusion with Very is that it cannot be explained in a simple sentence. Most people understand it to some extent, but if asked what is Very, you lose most people. That's a possibility. I try to make it very clear. It's software licenses for our peer-to-peer capital markets applications and products and services. But you're right, very it's not a widget you purchase from Walmart. It's something much more capable, and hence takes more than one sentence to explain. But I have encapsulated one sentence, just a matter of how good I did, right? In your opinion, we will go back to the gold standard? I doubt so very seriously, unless VE Gold really hits big, and then VE Gold will be the standard. Thank you for the AMA, Reggie. Jamaica recently announced security tokens on their stock exchange. Okay, I don't think they announced security tokens. I think they announced a plan to use security tokens. But either way, I wish them luck. More power to them. Thank you for bringing crypto market a real hedge backed by precious metals. You're very welcome. Brad Pickett, I think a lot of people fail to realize how useful, utilitarian, progressive, and disruptive that is. But please take a look at the two gold documents, the macro analysis and the description of the VE Gold product on the site, and try it out yourself. It is really, really a tour de force. Was very involved in this development, given the 2017 work done with the Jamaica Stock Exchange. There's a link there. I can't go to a link, so I can't look at it, hence I can't answer that question. Oh, and I see we have, unfortunately, we have children, but luckily they're the vast minority, so they're easy to ignore. It really gets tiring that people keep asking the same low-level questions. We need to start talking about making events where people can use Variant and see what the tech can do. That is a very good idea. If you go to the Veritaseum Telegram chat, the official Veritaseum chat, go there, and I'm there on occasion, and let's spark the conversation where we make events, and I will attend and bring team members, and we'll demonstrate what Very can do right there in real time, physically. We actually, if I do an event in Davos or rent a space, that space and event would be dedicated 24 hours, or at least during open hours, to showing what Veritaseum does and actually doing it right on stage with audience participants. That's one big advantage when you have actual operating business, excuse me, actual operating products, business models, and code. We do and we don't talk. Reggie, are there any other reports on other cryptos coming out in the near future? I'm sure there are. We just put a bunch out. They're like less than a week old, and there's a lot of them. I doubt very seriously if anybody read through all of them. It's a decent amount of reading. So go to the research and take a look at it. What do you think about PPT? Again, go to the research section of the DAP. There's a PPT report there. Is it a better way to invest where you get equity or tokens in a company? Well, we will be tokenizing the equity of a company in Africa and putting it on a Veda. We'll be coming out of one of the African companies. But remember, I don't know if you would have access to it as a U.S. citizen. Consult your attorney. And when it comes out, there'll be some information there about who and who it is, who it's available to and who it is not. We started work on the African company already. Expect the tokenization to come up hopefully by the end of February. We shall see. As for investing directly in Veritaseum, no, we're not selling equity. Okay, I'm going to stop answering questions about Populous and PPT. I've done that 3 or 4 times already. We spoke about Ubini already. No need to go there anymore. Much of love from Austria. Thank you very much. How do you verify the authenticity of the gold and VE Gold? Simply redeem it. Take a look at it and bring it to whoever you need to. You can redeem the gold simply by clicking the button redeem, right? As long as it's the same public address that bought the gold, you bypass the KYC. All you have to do is put an address in and pay for shipping, and it's shipped to you. You can do whatever you want with it, test it, etc. We will start having monthly audit reports available probably next month. Okay, and that's audit for the quantity of gold available in the vaults. Okay, is Veritaseum Securities a separate entity from Veritaseum? Yes, it is. Will be, hopefully, if it receives its licensure and registration, it will be a FINRA-approved broker-dealer, registered investment advisor, and ATS. Like your interaction from Davos, thank you. Okay, so here we have another smear, but let me adjust this because outside of it being dangerous, it also seems to show anybody who reports this to just not be paying attention. So this made-up name, Ranky Smith, I'm assuming that's not your real name, says, you have no developers, nobody's ever seen any of this project, con game. Okay, so we have plenty of developers, but whether we have developers or not, we have actual code up and running. So however we got it running, even though it'd be very difficult to do it without developers, but it'd be irrelevant. The code is up and running. It's updated probably bi-weekly, almost that often, and it is the most advanced applications and interfaces that I've seen in the industry. I believe it's the most advanced, but let's assume I haven't seen anything. It's definitely in the top 5%. Okay? So, you you want to challenge me or the company and to see if you have developers or not? Go to adapt.veritaseum.com, and the stuff that loads in your browser, make use of it. Okay? Do I have an API for the institutions to use? Yes, we do, but because we have rapid development, the API is in flux, but yes, we do have an API. Is there any way to get very on trading view so we can look at charts and buy low? Listen, exchanges, and I said this before, I'm gonna say it one more time and that's it. Exchanges are their own separate companies, they're private entities, or even if they're public traded entities, I have no control over them. So whether they carry Very or not is up to them. If you want Very to be carried on these exchanges, you could go up and ask the exchanges, okay? And I definitely don't want to just opine on this buying low stuff. Once again, and for the last time, that's not our business, that's not what we do. Can you use Very to buy VE Gold? Not as of yet because of regulatory issues, but you can use Very to pay down the premium on VE Gold. So if you have Very, I forget what the actual ratio is, but I think if you spend 55 basis points of Very, you get a 90 basis point discount. I am waiting, actually one of the calls that came in for a new supply of the gold. If the supply comes through at the time and the purity and the price that we've agreed to, I will offer a much stronger discount. That discount would be, I'll give you an example. If you pay, I think, 532 basis points of the purchase in Very, we will sell the gold at spot, which would be a game changer. Okay, but we're not there yet. We'll have to see. Keep up the hard work. Your products are needed. Thank you. Where are your mods at? Yeah, I see there are a lot of trolls there. Unfortunately, we don't have mods for YouTube video chats. But that would be a good idea. If I start doing more of these, I will have some moderators come in and put the trolls and the children in check. Can Very tokens be used as collateral for VE lending? No, they cannot. Due to the potential for volatility, they wouldn't make useful collateral anyway. Remember, they're prepaid fees. But VE lending, the example that we did use, used a multi-family home in Jersey City as collateral. What is the best wallet for Very? That's dependent upon your tastes and preferences. But for DApp browsers, the one with the Fox, MetaMask works well. And we've also used Trust Wallet. Those have been purchased by larger exchanges, crypto exchanges, and so we will recommend others, perfectly open source, that are not owned by for-profit entities that may have agenda creep go into the products. Okay. Just tuning in, but I think you and the Banco Network and a Pillar Wallet would work well together. Either way, keep up the good work. Okay, thank you. Okay, now I see I've been on here for just over an hour. As you can tell, I'm very tired. Been working jet lag from coming back from Davos, combined with the fact that I didn't get to sleep much to begin with. The camera's looking at my nose. Okay, my apologies. You can see my nose hairs. But this is not a fashion show. This is an AMA. Okay. And so I'm going to cut this short. I will try and do another AMA sometime soon. Okay, I'm a little short on time. In the meantime, you can go to the Veritaseum Telegram chat and ask questions there. It's an active community that can answer a lot of questions. Okay? Goodbye, au revoir, adios, zaijian, sayonara, peace.